Noon or whatever time of day it is where you are. Today I'm working more on my advanced stock market tool in Python. So before I get started, I'm going to go over what I've done so far and what I'm going to do today. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe and like the live stream if you like this. If not, don't. So this is the overview. Here are my goals. I have two goals. First goal is to beat the S&P 500 by a significant margin and make money in all regimes. So if the S&P is going down, if it's a recession, I still want to be making money. The second goal is I'm writing all of this in Python, so I don't want to write it just for me. I want to create a general framework that anyone can use to write their own code. Currently, as I've written it, people can perform these first two steps, stock universe and a returns model. They could define a universe, create a model, and test it robustly in under 50 lines of code. So this is the outline for the what it's going to look like. So first, I have data for stocks. I have open, high, low, close for every day and volume for every day going back to 2011. I'm then isolating a stock universe of this data, so you don't want to use every stock that's been listed in the market for the last 15 years. You want to cut out things like penny stocks or things that have really low volume, because that will cause your model to train on the wrong things. You want your model to work on stocks with at least medium to high volume, so that you can trade it with a lot of money once you're rich. And then once I have this returns model working, I'm making a portfolio model which will execute a strategy based on the returns model. So the model that I'm training here isn't just it's predicting how the stocks will do, and that's important. But once you have that, that's not making portfolio picks for you. You then want to use a higher level model to decide how to allocate your money. So I started this at the beginning of the year. This is where I was at the end of January. So I got data. I was starting out with data from NASDAQ. It turns out that's not very efficient because you need to download a CSV for every ticker for every day. And so that's going to have a lot of trouble once I start going live with the model. So I found a better data source. If you're interested in that, the link's in the description, or you could go to the GitHub. The link's also in the description, and I show you how to get this data. It's a SQL server, and it's hosted on DoltHub. I started out with some basic analysis. So here in black, it's looking at fundamentals, how do different fundamentals perform over time. And then here, I'm looking at the performance of different stocks in a sector. I made some code that can do that. And so in this case, we're looking at pharmaceuticals. This is nice, but it's all kind of qualitative analysis. You're looking at plots. I don't want to make decisions from plots. I want to automate something that makes decisions that can look at, and hold more information at one time than I can in my own head. So the next step was integrate this into a model. So this is a light gradient boosting method. If I'm plotting the log returns from the predictions of this model over time, I'm beating the S&P 500, and it gives about 51. Oh, sorry, this is underperforming the S&P 500. But I'm getting about 51.5% directional accuracy was the best I was able to get. This is the importance of the different features. I went through and found a portfolio strategy that seems to work well. But the problem is it's the only one that has a Sharpe ratio above 1, which is what you want for the stock market, is if I'm making one pick per day. I tried to go through and threshold this, and I found if I'm increasing the threshold, it's performing better. So 2.5 is a really high Sharpe ratio here. But the problem is I got that by thresholding at 54% probability of going up. And if I increase the threshold to 55%, it isn't making any picks. So because this threshold strategy is fragile, and because it's only making one pick per day, the whole strategy overall was very fragile and not robust, not what you want when you're using real money in the stock market. So I wanted to, the next step is go through every possible feature and target and see what works well. And so before I could do that, I had to clean up the code base. So originally, I had to do a new script every time I changed how the universe was defined, every time I changed how the model worked, and every time I incorporated a new portfolio strategy. And so that quickly blew up to dozens of files, and it was going to be hundreds of files at least by the time that I had a working strategy. And so to avoid that, that wasn't going to be useful for me or anyone else. So to avoid that, I cleaned up the code base. I already had clean data. I built some filter classes and fed those into a stock universe class. This allows you to diversely change your universe. If in the future, I have 3 filters already. If in the future there's any other filters I might want to add, I can incorporate those into the stock universe as well. I'm then using the stock universe to train a returns model, and I'm also feeding in feature and target classes into the returns model. The feature and target classes is what took the most amount of time. Again, I'm only using price data right now. Why I'm doing that, I'll get to in a second. But these are all the features and targets that I incorporated, so a lot of them. And this will allow me to easily iterate through different strategies. So I finished this, and I still have to finish building the portfolio model class. I've started on that, but I'm not finished. And really, I'm not going to work on this until I have a really good model. So the first step was go through, add all the features, and see how it works. It was actually performing worse in directional accuracy. I found out that I don't want to use directional accuracy as my indicator. Rather, I should use information coefficient, the standard deviation of the information coefficient to information ratio, both on a daily and annual basis, and also the t statistic. And so I kept looking at models. I found this one, which I thought was performing really well. I went through and did all sorts of tests on this, like trying to drop correlated features. I found one feature which actually improved the model. And this is really what I've been working on the last maybe week and a half, all this stuff. And so, like I said, I thought my model was doing really well. But I ran into a problem. So this is when I was trying to incorporate macro data, so volatility index and interest rates. And it turns out that macro data actually isn't going to improve my model at all. It will make it worse because I'm trying to predict how will the returns be in comparison to each other. So how many standard deviations will the return be over the average? And the problem with that is that when you add these macro features, it's going to be the same. The volatility index for a certain day is the same for every stock. Of course, that's not changing for different stocks. Same with treasury rates. And so that makes the model worse because it doesn't have anything to compare to. So instead of learning information about the specific stock, it's learning information about the market as a whole, which is biasing the model and making it perform worse. And so, like I said, I did all sorts of tests. I got this. This looks perfect when you're looking at so this here on the left plot is the decile analysis. And so that should look like a staircase, an evenly distributed staircase. And so that's what this looks like. It looks really good. However, I did identify a problem yesterday. And so yesterday I was looking through things and I decided, okay, I'm just going to change how I'm splitting the training data. And if this is a robust model, it should be the same. So I went from using, again, I'm going back to 2011. So I started out using the first 60% of data as training data. The next 20% was validation for tuning the hyperparameters. And the last 20% was for testing. So when I changed this to use the beginning 50% for training, the next 15% for validation, and the final 35% for testing, that made it worse. And so you see I went from hitting the metrics on hitting my goal for every metric to suddenly I'm underperforming every metric here. And so I was underperforming the information coefficient. Standard deviation was about 13 times, so it's right at the top of this range that I'm looking for. Information coefficient to information, and on both a daily and annual basis, I'm slightly overperforming my goal. And T statistic, I'm significantly underperforming the goal. And so I realized before my initial goal, what I said Friday I was going to do is I'm going to go through, build a portfolio class, and I'm going to start paper trading Monday morning. But this indicates it's a more fragile model, so I'm going to need to do some more analyses. So there's kind of 2 analyses I want to do. So what I was doing here was just doing one model on all of the data. The question is, why did it fail with this new split? And there's a few answers for why this could be happening. The first one is that it's using less training data, so it's learning less. And I don't think that's really the culprit because I just took it down from 60% to 50%, so that shouldn't change things too much. Um, One thing that could be happening is, so I lowered the validation data set. I dropped it by 5%. And so what's going to happen from that is the hyperparameters are going to be less good, less successful. And so that could be an issue. And then also I'm testing on the final 35% of the data set, so just over a third. And if I'm using the first 50% to train, so that's training from, it's really starting in 2013 because I need to calculate the features. But if I'm training from, say, 2013 to 2020, that's going to have a hard time performing well on the test, which is, in 2025. And so it's either one of these last two splits is causing the issue. But really, I was hoping my model would work well regardless of what split I did, and it's not. And so I'm doing these two things. One thing is implement combinatorial purged cross-validation. And so what that's doing is it's splitting the data into different chunks that are still, each chunk is ordered in time, but then you basically get every combination of the chunks, and train on some, train on, say you're doing 6 chunks, you want to train on 5, test on the 6th one, and then do every possible combination of that. So you end up with 6 different models. Um, and Yeah, so that's one way of kind of doing a better analysis is then, if it's working well on every time chunk, you know that you have a really robust model. And if it's not, you have something that's a little too fragile for production. And the other thing is to do a walk forward analysis. So I did that this morning and kind of, I implemented the code for that this morning, and then I stopped the stream and I let it run off stream. So I have the results for this, which I'm going to show in a second here. But basically what this is doing is you could use any sort of splitting of the data. I was looking back 4 years for the training data. I used the 5th year for the validation data, and then the 6th year I used to test. So with data that's going back to 2011, that means the first iteration would be training on 2011, 13, 12, 13, and 14, validating on 2015, and then testing on 2016. And then I walked through testing on 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, so on and so forth. And then I wanted to look at how does the model perform. And so I think what I have here, these are the results for the walk forward analysis. And I think this kind of shows what's going on. And so basically, if you're looking at the information coefficient, it was really good. So remember, I'm trying to get above 0.01 to 0.02. So in this range, it was really good. It spiked way up above 0.05 in 2019. So, if I had done this 8 years ago, it would have been a great model. I would have made a lot of money. But then you see it fall. So 2021, obviously 2020, it fell a lot from 2019. 2021 is still lower, but I'm still above the metric I'm looking for. And then you see in the last 4 years, 2022, 23, 24, and 25, I'm falling below 0.02 for every year. In 2 of the years, I'm falling below 0.01. And so what this means, my interpretation of this, is that basically in the last 6 or 7 years, obviously machine learning's become very popular. 8 years ago, you weren't, so the model I'm using, I'm implementing this light gradient boosting method. So this Python class here, and as far as I know, this is a recent thing. I don't think this existed in Python like 8 years ago. And so it's getting easier to implement machine learning strategies. Data is becoming more available. Certainly since 2010, data has become much more available. And so, this sort of model would have been a lot harder to create around 2018 or 2019. You would have had to code it all by hand, and there would have been a lot less information available. Now, since there's so much more information available and strategies are becoming a lot better, the model's struggling to beat the metrics. And it did actually beat, it's in my range for 2025, in the range for 2023, but it's falling out of the range in 22 and 24. And so we need something that's performing a little bit better than the current model. I haven't looked at this yet. So annual ICIR. So I want above 0.3. And actually, what is it here? Zero. Yeah, so information coefficient to information ratio is still hitting above my metric for every year, although you can see it's substantially dropped off. Um, and but this is kind of showing the stability of the model. The information coefficient is really what you're trying to maximize returns. And so, although I'm not getting the returns I want, I am getting the stability I want. So that's good. That means I'm on the right track, but it does mean I'm going to have to add something a little more to make this better. Um, and so the next step is really I need to incorporate better things into my model. So fundamental features really, and also sector data. Um, so I'm going to do that. And also I want to do this combinatorial purged cross validation. I was having trouble getting that to work earlier, but I think I got it working. So that's all in this advanced model script. So I'm going to do that now. And before I really get to doing any of this, I need to upload the changes to GitHub that I made this morning. So here in clean analysis, I updated what? Oh yeah, updated universe, updated universe retrieval. And data splitting. And the CPCV model is in its own script. So I'm going to remove that from the bottom here. I started writing it into this, but this is already at 1,300 lines. So I don't want it to get too big. So I'm going to put that into its own script. Okay, let's leave these guys out. Added walk forward and CPCV analysis. If I was green, I would die. Added portfolio class. Here, added, why is this not working? Tests for portfolio. Okay, let's push to origin. All right, now I'm going to put some music on and get down to business. Blue is the color that lives inside me. I'm blue. Dabba dee dabba die. 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 Dabba dee die. Dabba dee dabba die. Dabba dee dabba die. Dabba dee dabba die. Blew his house in a blue. Okay, so I'm going to put this in. So why did I think the fundamental data only went back to 2013? Or sorry, 2023. Because if it does go back to 2016, I think we should be good. How do I test to make sure there's information for each ticker, which is also in my price data for this date range? Okay, so let's put this into the tests. So tests. I guess tests, there's a fundamental test, right? Okay, so let's add a new test for fundamental. No, oh. Baby, I like it, the way you move on the floor. Oh yes, I like it. Come on and give me some more. Oh yes, I like it. I like it. I like it. Alright, so we're gonna do that function, then we'll say price df, fund df, ticker call is not ticker, it's account symbol. Low. Okay. read in data sets. Baby, I like it. Okay, so the data sets are in here. The first one is universe 1. Hey, user, however you say that, I don't think that's supposed to be a phonetic. There's supposed to be a phonetic pronunciation to that. Anyway, how are you doing? Thanks for tuning in. I'm working more on my stock model. You could rewind to the beginning to see what I'm doing, but basically my model isn't performing as well as it should. I forgot I was going to put this into the PowerPoint. So this is demonstrating that. So I was kind of going through all of my data and testing and training and validating. I was getting a really good model here. Where was that? Oh, just a sec. Let's see. Yeah, here. So this is hitting every metric. It's beating every metric that I'm going for by a fair bit. And if you look here, this is the decile analysis. It should look like a nice staircase. It's not perfect, but it looks pretty good. And I did all sorts of tests on this, and it passed every test. So I thought I had something production ready to start paper trading tomorrow morning when the market opens. But the problem was if I changed how I'm splitting the data from 60-20-20 to 50-15-35, suddenly the model's performing way worse. So I had to go in and look what is the reason for this. And so I did so earlier I was just doing one model. Now I'm doing a walk forward analysis. So it's for each year, it's going back and getting the 5 previous years. Years 1 through 4 are for training. Year 5 is for validation of the hyperparameters. Year 6 is the test for the year. And so when I do that, these are the results. And so you can see the information coefficient was really good until 2021. It started to drop off. It was still hitting so I'm shooting for 0.01 to 0.02 for the information metric. But then 2022 through 25, it really fell off. And it is in the range I'm looking for 23 and 25, but it's fallen off in 22 and 24. So I need thank you very much. I need something a lot better here. It should be getting above 0.02 for every year. And it's not doing that, so I need something a little bit more robust. And so I'm going to go through and try to add some fundamental features and see if that can improve the model. I put this in, right? Yeah. So we're good to exit out now. Your side. And let me get the results. I'll fly with you. Ooh. I'll fly with you. I'll fly with you. Okay, let's put that guy there. Do 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 do. Believe in your lies. I still will love you someday. All right. Walk forward analysis on model 12. Okay, so let me think. Yeah, so back to incorporating the fundamental features. Yeah, so if I'm going to do all fundamental features going back to 2016, I'm going to have to make sure that all of the price data is also shared inside of the fundamental data. So price data is going to be my universe. Do do do. And I'm using universe 1, right? Yep. Okay, we need pandas. And I need something else here, I think. NumPy. Okay, now price data. Oh, and I'm gonna change the walk forward test. Advanced models. Make me. Oh, and let's see if this works. So where's the model created here? Okay, so yeah, before I get to that, the feature stuff's gonna take a while. So what do I want to do first? Okay, so the CPCV model split by date. Generate targets and features. Okay, and then when we initialize, we want to say data generated is false. Oh, this is advanced stats filter. So universe. No, not in universe. We want to go in model. Yeah, so here we'll say self.data generated is false. And then when we split, we'll say if self.data generated is equal to false, do this. Otherwise, don't do anything. Okay, now back to the advanced models. Um, um, so CPCV model. Okay. Um, tune params, objective, train model. Hey, buddy. So CPCV model. Oh, never does the model. Okay, so let's just see if this works. Okay, so that's the first thing, universe path. Oh, we just need to pass in this guy. And then we want model folder is // data / models / model 12 model 12 CPCV. And then we want to say n folds is equal to 6 and n test folds is equal to 2. And then when I'm doing, so split data doesn't need anything. Tune params, train model, test model. So model folder so we also want to save everything here. So scores. So I want to have also the IC. All right, so let's go here. So test, are we doing that? IC standard deviation, ICI daily, ICIR, annual, ICIR, and T statistic into which saves into a CSV file in the model folder. I want to have this statistic for each combination of data inside the which the CPCV tests. Is that it? Oh yeah. I want this method to, I guess that's fine. I don't need to save it. I'll just run the function. Save. Okay, so it's so when I'm calling it, create the model, prepare data, okay, tune params, train model. Okay, so now where are we here? Oh, I don't want to be there. I want to be here. And we're ready to run this. Let's save it. Save this guy. Make sure the right one is turned on. Yep, so just this. And now let's try running this. And we'll see how it works. Okay, so while that's running, let's make a new test. Oh. Oh. Well, where do I pass in the features? Oh, I still need to pass in features. Well, 1147 universe path, model folder, and folds. No. And test folds. But I still need to add everything that was in model 12. So let's get all the features in the target. Alright, so we've got all of those. Now we create the model, but then before we do this, we say model.add features. And then model.add target. And then, so add features, add target. So split data. So I should do the same thing here I did here. If self.data generated, do that. So maybe free for all and they. Good. So now we can do, so add features, add target, split data, tune params, train model, test model, save metrics, evaluate spread. So yeah, that will work. And let's run it, see how it does. Has no attribute data generated. But, okay, so when we call init here, self.data generated is false. So it does have the data generated, right? Because it's calling the init on the parent. If test fundamental, what the hell? Ouch. You're looking for a show, is it go hardcore? Model Explorer, test fundamental. Where was that? Line 1331. Oh, and clean analysis. Oops. So I put that down here. Lose it now. In the crowd. Back around. It's a dirty hot mess. I don't give it a place I don't. Where the fuck I'm around. Okay, so now it's doing the data split. But this will be more efficient, so while that's running, I'm gonna fix the walk forward analysis. Oh, this is clean analysis. So here, when I'm doing the walk forward analysis, well, true, we're gonna make a model, so we don't want to do that. Model folder. Oh, now take it off right now. Okay, so I'm doing that, then I'm gonna say fold folder is equal to that. Downtown, where you'll come around. Oh no, get rid of that. That should go above. Take it off, everybody take it off. Where they go hardcore, and there's glitter on the floor, and everybody take it off. Okay. Oh, whoa. Okay, so I'm going to leave this off for now. I did the walk forward. If it's working well in the walk forward, I can go ahead and do the CPCV later. Um, hmm. Oh. Alright, so where's test date IDX come from? So I'll just print them. Make sure it's saved. And then before I get the error, it'll print it. Okay, so let's go back to tests. So here I want to say, did I do it in test? Oh, it's here. Okay, so now we have our function. So we've got price data. Now we want fundamental data is equal to pd.readFeather all fundamentals.feather. Oh, so we have that data. Now I want to say validate price and fundamentals, give it the price data frame, give it the fundamental data frame. Okay, so now validate price and fundamentals, price df is equal to price data, fundamental df is equal to fundamental data. All right. Let's see what that does. 38 tickers have massive gaps. Holy crap, man, this is super incomplete. So what are those tickers? So let's see what's PhD. Providence Gold Mines. Does PhD report fundamentals? Well, price data that starts before. Early fails. So missing early data is where fund start is greater than price start. Right, plus 90 days. So 90 days, 90 times 4. Yeah, it's 360. So maybe I'll change this to 92. And significantly before price day. Yeah, so this is basically good. Yeah, so this is a problem. There's like 7,000 tickers. Oh, not even 7,000. So there's a problem with like all of these. So that's what I need to figure out is what is the problem with all of this. Quarterly report stock data set. Yeah, so that's not going to help either. So I need fundamentals. But you know so this isn't too far off from being good. So I wonder if I just add sector information, will it pass the walk forward test? I mean, let me just try adding it in actually. So do I have it in the feature engine? Okay, so let me pull up the data, sector data. How big is this? Okay, so let's add the two files. So we have not in scripts, test, data retrieval, clean interest rates, get SEC Edgar. Okay, let me make sure. So what's that guy? Let's get sector. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, so upload that. Now let's upload the sector data. Holy shit, that's a lot of tokens. Um, so my hope is I could just add sector data and it'll work. All right. So really, I hear you, man. All right, so let's look here. So sector DF. So let's change the function. How much does this improve things? So let's wait for the first error and see if we get it. Now let's see, because I keep running out of requests, so I'm going to have to pay for some AI. Okay, let's give this to ChatGPT too, and let's see what they say. Oh, I see using the times of Israel and Iran. It must have found I like those data sources. But it's returning unknown. I want that. Okay, I'm only at 3%, so I'm going to restart this. And then it should print when I get an unknown. Hey, Sir Night Night. Check it out. So yesterday I was like, oh, the model's breaking if so I had that good model that I thought was so nice, but then it broke if I changed the train test split. So then I was trying to figure it out, and I did a walk forward analysis. And so this obviously shows the performance is getting worse really after 2020, but 2021 it's still good enough on the information coefficient. But then it falls off in 2022. It's not good enough. 2023 it becomes barely good enough again. 24 it's not good enough. 25 same as 2023. So I think what this means is very clearly, AI tools have become widely available in this time, and it's the same thing you've been saying. Everybody's been saying price data just isn't going to be good enough. And so this is about the model's about as good as it gets for price data. So now I need to incorporate some fundamental data, but that's going to be a huge headache because that database I'm using doesn't have enough fundamental data. So I'm trying to add sector data. I'm thinking maybe this will just crank up the performance enough to make it usable. But this drop off is still a big concern. So although the information coefficient to information ratio is good enough, you can still see that's falling way off though. So ideally I would have something that's not falling off in recent years. So now I'm trying to get the sector data again. So I'm still getting unknowns, but it's not printing Y. If XML is not in content type, we're going to print this. Okay, so I'm going to say if lm.text do that, else yes, I should be printing something every time there's an unknown. But nothing's printing when I'm getting an unknown. Why is it not printing? Return unknown. Return unknown. So if there's an unknown, I should be printing something. I don't know why. So let's look for an unknown. Good. Okay, there's unknown. ACC not found in Edgar. Returned text/HTML. You are the light in the dark. You are. Okay, not here. Data retrieval. Get SEC Edgar. Use the official ticker to, but turns out I had additional work to do and more to learn. Almost there. I'm hoping. Oh wow! So, yeah, you'll figure. That sounds like you have not too much more to do. Mine was no good, and it's gonna take me a lot more. But, you've been working on this for longer, and I just gotta keep hitting my head against the wall, and I'll get it. Something happened in the markets in 2026 that I can't quite put my finger on. Yes, I think. I mean, probably every firm's using AI to trade. Um, but yeah, I don't know. We got to keep hitting our heads into the wall, and we'll get good models, I think. But that's not good if something happened in 2026, because I found that mine broke in like 2022, 2021, really. So um, even if I get something good here, it'll probably break again on this year. Make you glad you came. Sun comes out, and all I ounce is here and now. My universe will never be the same. So model performance fell off in 2022. I have fundamental data, but my data set is missing a lot and I can't incorporate it at the moment. I'm the model whose performance fell off. Yeah, I think it got super easy to use AI. The speed of the market has increased to the point that a good strategy will be 90% of the battle. The other 10% is latency. Well, yeah, so I guess there's going to be, are you saying there's a lot of volatility as soon as the market opens? Or really, if it's institutions, the volatility should be happening in pre-market and aftermarket, which I guess is something that I see. Man, but it's a headache, but that gives us the edge, right? If we could keep hitting our head into the wall. My data set's missing a lot and can't incorporate it at the moment. The model whose performance fell off is still not too far from beating my desired metrics. So I am hoping that incorporating sector information is the boost I need. However, if I don't include the listed tickers in my sector information, I will have a survivorship bias and my model will be no good. Yeah, so if you just tuned in, please subscribe, like the stream. Also check out the GitHub. It helps me out if you star the GitHub, watch the GitHub, and follow me on GitHub. Also join the Discord. The link for all of this is in the description, and here's the GitHub. You could download it yourself, implement a define a universe for your stocks, create a model, and then test the model robustly. You could do all of this in under 50 lines of code. Survivorship bias is more nuanced than it might seem. Are you using sector as a static feature assigned at training time, or are you using it for normalization? No. If it's a static feature, the survivorship bias is actually quite low. You're not asking the model which sectors survive. You're just, yeah, but it's not going to learn on delisted tickers. No, it says chat. Oh, okay, good. Chat reconnected. If you're doing cross-sectional ranking within sectors, yes. I'm doing both. I want to do both. Getting sector data for delisted tickers. Alright, so this is still only 13%. Yeah, well, I can't do that unless I have the sector. Encode sector is a low cardinality categorical. Alright, I know that. Use SIC codes from Edgar as a fallback for anything Y Finance can't resolve. Okay. A common problem I see is that the SIC tag is not found in Edgar. Interesting that it's monotonically decreasing in Sharp as the years progress and then increases in 2024. Yeah, good point. Hey, Furpo, how are you? Thanks, Sir Night Night. That is interesting. Fought the birds, of course he did. What you say? Oh, did you wanna been well, of course you didn't. Okay. Okay, let's go back to Claude. Common problem I see is that the SIC tag is not found in Edgar, although the ticker can be found. It is also common really, Sir Night Night, I think if we are using all of the current tools every day and just throwing, hitting our heads against the wall, I think we'll get an edge. But I think probably going forward, the models are going to have to be updated a lot. And we're going to need to be using the cutting edge tools. You're likely porting the wrong endpoint. Well, I was using Google Gemini, but I kept running out of requests. So I don't know if I'm just sending it too many big files, or maybe I'm just. Well, Claude is better in some ways. Yeah, I do think Claude is better, but I haven't been using it because the request limit. When I used it, I haven't really honestly used it much since last October, September, October, somewhere around there. But when I was using it then, I kept hitting the rate limit like really quickly. But now it's kind of flipped. I'm hitting the Google Gemini rate limit really quickly. So yeah, now I'm into Claude. And honestly, I think I'm going to have to pay for something. But here's what I'm working on today. So I had a model that I thought was really good. I got maybe a week and a half ago. It's right here. And I was beating every metric I was going for by typically a substantial margin. So I tried all sorts of tests. I decided it was really good until yesterday or Friday night. I switched how I'm doing the training test split, and suddenly the model wasn't hitting any metrics. So I did a walk forward analysis. Train on, get the previous five for each year. Get the previous 5 years. The current year data is the test. Years 1 to 4 are the training data set. Year 5 is the validation, and year 6 is the current year. And so this is the results of that. And you see the information coefficient was really way above. I'm trying to get 0.01 to 0.02. So we were good 2016 through 2021, but then 2022 it fell off below 0.01. 23 it recovered. 24 it was below my metric again. 25 it recovered, and even though 23 and 25 it recovers, it's still way below my target for the information coefficient. So or it's in my target range, 23 and 25, but it's way below the previous range. And so that basically shows this model's no good. And if it's following this pattern of 22 to 25, it's going to fall off again this year and be no good. So I need a better model. My fundamental data is really a mess, and I'm not going to be able to incorporate that. So I need to get a better data source for it. I might have to pull all of it myself. And then I need to get sector information. So rather than worry about fundamental data, I'm trying to incorporate sector data because that should be easier to do. And I'm hoping if I just add sector, it should really improve things a fair bit, because instead of just normalizing across all the stocks, I'll be able to normalize by sector. And so that's going to be a big improvement. And then just having a sector as a categorical feature into the model, that'll improve it a lot. The problem is when I'm scraping the sector data, I'm getting a lot of unknowns. So when I was doing this, I tried this about a week ago, and I was getting about 50% of the tickers was returning unknown for the sector. So I improved the code a bit. It's going through it now. It's about a fifth of the way through. And so I want to see, does this improve? Am I getting more sectors? The problem is it's still getting, see here, TSI unknown. So it's finding it in the Edgar database, but it doesn't have an SIC tag. So that's basically my issue right now. And so I'm trying to improve this. I want to get a really good sector data set. Every single ticker that's in my data, I want to have a sector for it. And then I'll be able to normalize by sector, which should, it won't make the model worse, and it should, I think, give it a substantial improvement. You'll probably recover a lot of performance if you can focus on your bet sizing on your model. Bet more when you're more confident and bet less when you're not. Yeah, but so that I'm leaving off for the portfolio level of the model. And so I think I could improve performance, but I want to focus on the base model. Yeah, but how is so I guess I never got familiar with this. How is information coefficient? Because information coefficient, I was thinking the information coefficient should just apply to the model and not the portfolio stage, but predicted returns and actual realized returns. Oh yeah, so where am I calculating that in here? Because you're right, I gotta see how so this is in here, so in tests. So calculate robust metrics. Yeah, because this test is really simple. It's just going long on the top 10% and going short on the bottom 10%. So good point. That would improve it a lot if I changed the bet sizing. If I add a portfolio strategy to this, I might be getting a good information coefficient. So maybe I could just do the portfolio and try to optimize for the information coefficient. Do a differential evolution, train on the information coefficient. I don't think the IC is ever going above 1. Let me pull it up. Market research. Yeah, the information coefficient never goes above 0.05. I've never gotten as good as 1. Here I am, but that's information coefficient to information ratio. So where am I? I forgot what was that function. Test model. Then I'm calling calculate robust. Oh yeah, so that's down here. Calculate robust IC metrics. So I'm getting the target key. Spearman rank correlation. Yeah. So this is the information coefficient for all of them. Yeah. So I'm trying to think. I'm getting the information coefficient. So predicted return, what is that? Predicted return. And this is going on the test data. Group. Daily ICs, mean IC. Self.test. Yeah, so it's doing it on the test. Yeah, so it's getting the information coefficient for everything in the test data set. Yeah, so what do you think about this, Sir Night Night? I was thinking that I want to get the information coefficient to be good for everything in the test data set. And then once that's good, then I'll add the portfolio strategy, which will contain the bet sizing. The thought there is that if I want the information coefficient to be above 0.01 to 0.02 just on the model alone, and then if that's if that's good, then I'll be able to squeeze out more performance by doing the bet sizing in the portfolio stage. But I'm thinking that if the information coefficient isn't good enough on the model alone, then I don't have really a robust model, and I'll be squeezing out better performance from like bet sizing and stuff. But I will kind of be fooling myself in how good the model is. That's kind of my thinking here. I guess I could just check with the AI. So, all right, well, let me try to fix this. If you're scraping, so I don't know if Claude's that good. It keeps giving me the same damn suggestion. JSON submissions endpoint. Does JSON submissions endpoint still include information for tickers which have been delisted? It's going to be really, really hard to get higher than 0.6. Well, 0.6 for the information coefficient is way above my my target. With the data you currently have, you're going to need a more stochastic process. I am doing better than a coin flip. Yeah, so I'm on the right track. I just need to make this a lot better, improve it a lot. Okay, so JSON submission is good. Okay, so what's this guy at? 31.6%. Not even a third of the way through. Guess I don't need to rewrite the code. So Sonnet 4.6. Oh, okay. Extended thinking. I only want to change the get sector function and add other functions if necessary. The code at the bottom. You should be able to use your IC as a proxy for confidence for bet sizing. But the IC, there's an information coefficient for every ticker. So the higher the information coefficient, the more confident I am. Yeah, okay. But either way, I think I still need to focus on this base model. And before I add any sort of like sizing stuff, the base model should be getting above 0.01 for every year in the walk forward analysis. And really, I think adding the sector information is going to improve it significantly. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm kind of focused on the sector information. I'm going to still leave fundamentals out because that's going to be quite a process getting all of that. You know, if getting the sectors is so hard. The code at the bottom should remain untouched. All right, I'm gonna go get a Dr. Pepper really quick. I'll be right back. Ouch. Good boy. Ooh, it smells good in here.
Yeah, I don't know. The cookies are kind of weird. We'll see. They aren't my normal cookies. It's a new recipe. Alana to bake them, and if we don't like them, we can always throw them away. You don't have to
And
eat them.
try them again. I heard Drew called. What'd he say?
Oh, they've got too much going on. They're trying to do a Sunday reset, when they had laundry and stuff around the house, and he's selling those Otani carbs, and so it's fine. I get it. We went and bought stuff to make hamburgers, but because these cookies are taking so long, now it might be 6:30 or so before we eat because I can't even start the roast until I finish the cookies.
Well, that's fine with me.
I know, but I guess we can watch 60 Minutes while we eat if I get them done at that time.
I thought 60 Minutes wasn't on until 8.
No, it's on at 7.
Oh, Jeopardy time.
But if the roast comes out at 6:30,
Mm-hmm.
it has to sit. So we'll be sitting down, maybe watching that. I don't know.
Okay, well, sounds good to me. I'll see. Should I test the cookie right now?
Sure.
Well, I'll skip that for the sake of my tea. Let's see.
Just put it, yes.
They have good taste.
You're supposed to roll them and press them, and they were too oozy. And I think it's because the butter was too hard,
Mm-hmm.
so I melted it.
Oh,
And then it made it too soft.
too viscous.
I don't know. I felt like they weren't sweet enough, which they're not supposed to be super sweet. They're supposed to be a little sweet. But then
Well, I
they
think
added
that's sweet enough.
a little bit of sugar.
The only problem is it didn't get hardened on the top.
I know. So maybe I should make it 350.
Other than the hardened on top, I think it's really good.
Well, thank you. I'm going to close this door because the sun's coming right in.
Okay. Good boy. In my opinion, Dr. Pep is the best soda. Oh, Sir Night Night, more suggestions, thanks. An idea for portfolios to apply PCA to the volatility of assets in your basket. So, but how does that work? I did PCA. Isn't that what I did for feature trimming? Whoa, see, now it's getting back to this unknown. Everything is unknown. I already gave it the code. Okay, thanks, Sir Night Night. But I'm trying to figure out what that means, because PCA... No, my pen. Okay, there we go. So here I called it get sector. Is it the same thing here? Claude is always doing this. It's doing this fancy crap that for some reason or another makes my code look weird. No, I thought I had a good model. But then when I changed the data splitting, it went from, it was beating my metrics, all the metrics by a significant margin. And then when I did the data splitting, it stopped working. So then I did a walk forward analysis, and you could see basically it's good, and then the performance falls off. So the question is, can I get this somehow so that when I do the walk forward analysis, the performance isn't falling off? So that's my goal that I'm working on right now. And I think if I add the sectors, that's going to improve it a lot, because I'll have another feature to the model, a categorical feature where I put the sector, and then I'll have another. I'll be able to normalize, instead of normalizing across all the stocks, I'll be able to normalize for just the sector. So I think that will, both of those are going to improve things, I think, significantly. But yeah, I had a model I thought was working well, and it turns out it's not. Okay, so it's giving headers in each one. Then it's not called here. Get sector, ticker, user agent. Okay. So this should still work. So let's see how my computer's doing on performance. I don't want to, give it too much stuff and then max it out. God, I can't remember. What's that? It's not Task Manager. Gosh, I was using a Windows at work, and I was remembering what it was called. Activity Monitor. Now my brain's going to switch back to Mac. Okay, so it's going through this. If it's not using all my resources, I could just run the new one side by side and then see, how does this improve things? Okay, so we're good on CPU. We are okay on memory. Let me cancel out some windows, and that should free up some memory. So in PowerPoint, we can save. All right, this is going to be kind of boring, but I got to go through my PowerPoints and X out everything I don't need. Save as. Okay, get rid of that guy. Don't want to show that. Exit. I guess I could put this in, but there's not much of a point. Work. Yeah, I'll just save it there. Okay, replace. I could exit. PowerPoints. Lots of my PowerPoints have a ton of pictures, so it. Okay. So it's taking up a lot of memory. Save, exit. Save, exit. Don't even need that to save that one. All right, so now how's this doing? That didn't even improve things that much. X out of that guy. Nope. Don't save. Outlook, I don't need that at all. Excel. Save that. Exit. Save this guy. Save, exit. Still not freeing up much memory. Get out of that. Get out of that. Get out of Excel. Oh, I have a bunch of VS Code windows open. Show all windows. So Stock Finder. Get data from Stock Finder. Oh, so I don't need that. That's old, the old stock market tool. Hey, buddy. Don't need this guy. Don't need that guy. Save. Show all windows. Don't need this. Exit. Oops. Exit. I exited out of the stream. Okay, refresh. Okay, what internet can I exit out of? Get rid of that, get rid of that. Don't need this. Need that. Okay, and I'm back into it. Okay, PCA for bet sizing, but oh, PCA on volatility. All right, so did this? Yeah, we're under 30 gigs. And what's this guy at? Okay, over halfway done. So let me save this and then I'll run it again with the new code. So let's see, what at the beginning was giving issues? So what was the first one that was unknown? Unknown. So ACC was the first error. So a quick check will be, does it now get ACC? But I need to... Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Why finance? Where's that getting called? Yeah, I'm not impressed with that code. Why would it? That means it needs to import for every time SEC Edgar isn't working. Oh, I need to install it. Okay, so the first one here it wasn't getting was ACC, so this is worse. Come on, Claude. Okay, so now I need to go back, get the old code back. Hey, buddy. Good boy. Nice, what's their name? What's their channel? I'm still honestly totally a beginner at this, so I'm still learning things. I'm learning everything as I go. Oh, you can't put, just say the name of the channel, because you can't put someone else tried to do that. You can't put links in the chat. So I'm trying to get this SEC Edgar code. Anyway, Furpo, yeah, tell me the name of the channel. That could probably help me. Maybe that guy, me and Sir Night Night could form a collaboration team. Maybe we could get him to join the Discord. Speaking of, maybe I could put a chat in the Discord. Maybe people know about this. Okay, we can say, does anyone know a good data source? Losing loonies. Yes, I agree. Does anyone know a good data source for sector information? I need it to include all tickers since 2011, including those which have been delisted. See if anyone says something. Maybe someone will just give me a CSV. Alright, so it's performing significantly worse. Yeah, see, this sucks. I already figured out that problem. Okay, so I'll call this get sectors underscore Claude dot py. Okay. Now let's run this and see how it does. Alright, so the first bad one here was ACC. Now is this getting ACC? ACAD. Oh yeah, ACC not found. Just go to the bottom. Okay, this is just taking forever. We're almost 2/3 of the way through. Gotta go back to music. Getting close to 70%. Better off alone. Do you think you're better off alone? Here's the logic flow now and why ACC specifically. So it was failing because it was taken private by Blackstone in August 2022. Edgar's checkpoint, yeah. Do you think you're better off alone? Do you think you're better off alone? Do 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 do. So I'm gonna call it get sectors Claude. Better off alone. Oh, this is gonna give an error. Fuck. Yeah, so now because I'm querying them both at the same time. So this is an error every fucking time. Oh. It's not finding any of them. save. Let's see, is AAC fixed? It's not even getting it. ACC. What's up, buddy? Might have been running the old code. The guy I told you also has a GitHub account. Let's go. Let's look at it. Hey, it's okay, buddy. Come here. Arf. So what is this called? What was that guy's name again? Losing Loonies. Whoa, this guy has a gajillion subscribers. Look, he has a much better YouTube channel than me. Dang, 25,000 subscribers. Oh, he's posting videos though. I'm too lazy to edit a video. But they're short, 6 minutes. So what's his GitHub? Hey, what the hell? He's a physicist. Hey, man. Come here. Best MACD training validation. It's a nice looking GitHub. Nice README. But he doesn't have anything generalized. So at least that gives me an edge. He's down 34 Canadian. 34,000 Canadian. Well, at least I'm at 0 because I never implemented a strategy. Oh, so let's see. Oh, I need to stop this. Okay, I subscribed. Do 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 do. Maybe I should start making videos like him, short videos, maybe just 5 minutes. I could do weekly updates. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe I'll do that today. Oh, so I forgot to see. Still giving unknown for ACC. Wait, what would? Oh, if I did daily or weekly videos? Yeah, I think that's exactly what I need to do. I think that'd probably help me get a lot more subscribers. I'm kind of opposed to doing videos like the videos I've made in the past. I spend so much time editing and whatnot. I like live streams because you just go live and then you work on your project. It's the same thing, it's basically no effort. I don't want to spend my life editing videos, but it would help me. I don't really have to edit it. I just have to make it concise. Get a script, and then just talk. Okay. That's what OpenAI was supposed to be. Then they got greedy. Okay, good. Thanks, Sir Night Night. I mean, honestly, I think I'm gonna pay for something. But maybe, I guess, yeah, I'm opposed to paying for something on two metrics. One, uh, I'm broke. Two, I think I don't think it's good. We're gonna pay the AI companies, and then the way to, it's just gonna become central. If you're not paying for something, you're behind. It seems better to support the open weighted stuff. Maybe I could donate to them. All my life. my life. Where have you been all my life? Where have you been all my life? Did I change this right? Yeah. Think you're better off alone? Do you think you're better off alone? Just returning unknown for everything. Almost everything. Oh. So why is it importing that money sign? I'll ask it that next. Let's see if it gets ACC. Come on, thing. Really just for I was trying to make money from sports betting. Was how I started coding, and that was in like 2018. And then I've just done basically from there. It was all personal projects until 2021, and I got hired to write code. Was like a big part of my job description. So I got way better at Python doing that. Um, and then from there, it's been mostly at work since 2021. I got really good at coding from work, and then doing personal projects like this on the side. CSR money C, it's not finding. So why does it have money in there? I don't know if this would help you, but you can connect your repository. Yeah, I've been avoiding that because then my problem I was having earlier where I got limited by rate requests, so I thought, what's the point of connecting the repository? Um, but I think I'm gonna probably pay for something. It might be Claude, so if I do that, I'll hook it up. And now this has become a bottleneck for me a bit, so I think I'm going to yeah, try to do that. I need to add a PowerPoint slide. Oh, I took my watch off. 322. So I'll have a new categorical feature, and I'll also be able to do a better neutralization method. Is this guy done? it's not finding like anything towards the bottom, but before it was getting about half. So here we want to see, are we getting over half? So let's look at sector DF. Len of sector DF dot account symbol. Yeah, so 12,770. I think before I had about 5,000, which weren't unknown. So we're gonna say len of sector DF, where sector DF dot sector is equal to unknown. So that didn't improve anything. It is like $20. Yeah, well, it's $20 though for the first tier plan, but I think for the amount of requests I'm going to have to send, I'm gonna need a better plan, like the $100, $200 plan, which is a lot of money for me right now. But if it could make me money, it's worth it. If it puts me ahead at work, I'll become the man at work. So I don't know. I'm trying to decide. It really might be useful for me. Okay, so how's this do? Oh, sometimes. Okay, let's delete this. Alright, so a big thing that's causing it to fail is there's the money symbol in stocks. I get a feeling that I never had before. Okay, then I want to read in, I think I just called it sectors.feather. Sector info.csv. So df is equal to pd.read.csv sector info.csv. // data /. So now we want length of df, where df dot where df dot sector is not equal to unknown. It's worse. Oh no, it's the same. So let's get where it's equal to unknown. 5677. Okay, so a big problem I'm having is that lots of these have a money sign in them. Oh no, it's not barely outperforming. It's slightly underperforms the old logic. However, I think that's because I was trying to query two at once. So, now I'm going to say was underperformance because I was running two scripts at once. I have always been interested about coding, but you don't, dude. The easiest way to learn coding is just like I said, I learned from work. But now you have the chat models. You could learn everything from the chat models, and really, I don't. Sir Night Night doesn't even code. He just uses the chat models, and it will analyze it for you, figure out the errors, fix it. Really, what you need to know is like the high level logic of what do you want to do, uh, with your stock market model. But and you could even ask the code for that. The AI, sorry, not the code, was underperformance and causing SEC Edgar to fail out. Okay, so now I'm going to run this again. It's only running one now. It's not going to give it multiple requests. And we have that wait loop, so it will wait. All right, next. Can I solve for tickers with money or dot? If so, how much does this improve performance? Okay, so I'm running this again. I'm gonna see how this goes and then see if it actually improves the performance. If it makes it worse, I'll just switch back to the old code and go from there. But that's it for now. I'm gonna end this stream because I'm just gonna let this run. I might do another stream later tonight, or I might just be doing one tomorrow. So we'll see. And other than that, that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Adios. Okay, so I'm running this again. I'm gonna see how this goes and then see if it actually improves the performance. If it makes it worse, I'll just switch back to the old code and go from there. But that's it.